Hey guys, we wanted to give you a video that focuses directly on the competition rules. That's in the front of your notebook. It's the first section of your notebook before the tab, because after the tab is actually the notebook itself and the lessons that we'll go over each week with you. So we wanted to focus on this just to make sure you understood all the rules, because this is how you win. Remember, this is a competition, and this book, these pages tell you exactly what you need to do to win. So we wanted to go over that in a separate video so you understood that better. Okay? And so, I don't remember, was there anything else I was going to say?
Before we go much farther, this presentation is on the downloads page. You can follow along with the rules in your book, but this presentation is also on the downloads page if you want to follow along with it, because you can't read this over the video. So just you can follow along through your, with your book or with the presentation that you download.
Okay, so we're basically going to walk through the different sections in the rules. And so the first up is the general rules. You need to remember that the documents, you're going to create the payload status document and the payload concept proposal. Those are the two documents you'll create this semester. You need to make sure they have 1-inch margins. If you download the template that will be on the InSPIRESS website, on the templates page, on the downloads page? Downloads page. It'll be the template.
Section, yeah.
It'll automatically be formatted with 1-inch margins, so just use that, okay? Make sure that you do not use any text smaller than 12-point Times New Roman font for the main text, because you can't get it too small because people can't read that, and you've got to make sure you understand your audience. Likewise, with the figures and the captions, the table and captions that you do, you need to make sure they're no more than 8-point font, right? No smaller than 8-point. And that's a big deal. Don't try to crush too much in there. We've seen that in the past, and that gets you negative points from the review board. Presentations. You also have several presentations. You have your reviews with UAH, then you have your final review with NASA, and so you've got to make sure that those are also legible, right? So there needs to be slide numbers on each slide, like is on this presentation. We have slide numbers in the right-hand corner, bottom corner of the thing. Make sure you have slide numbers. The board gets very mad at you if you do not have those slide numbers on the presentation. Use Arial or Tahoma font for the text. That's a really good font to use. It's very legible from a distance, and that's exactly what's in this one. I think this is Tahoma, right?
Looks like it, yeah.
Tahoma font. So you can see, you can see it. Maybe not on the video, but on the actual slide you can see it really well. No smaller than 16-point font. Don't put a lot of text on each page, right? Because when you do that, the font has to go very, very small. And when you do that, people are going to have to try to figure out what you're doing. Remember, these review board members are old, right? They're old, so they can't see far. They got glasses, they got thick glasses, they're contacts, something like that, right? So we can't have things really small for them because then it's going to frustrate them. And frustration means negative points, right? Also, white or light backgrounds work better. We have a white background here. Make it light. We've seen in the past where people put a dark background, like reversed it, where it's like black with white letters. That didn't work too well. It doesn't work in the room, like this room right now we're at UAH. It just doesn't do well, and the board doesn't like it. Plus, it takes up a lot of ink when you try to print it because it's going to print all that black. So it's just stupid, so don't do it, okay? So make them white or light backgrounds, right? And you can make them all festive. See, we've got the InSPIRESS logo in one corner, the UAH in the other corner, the new logo that we have to use now at UAH. You can do all that stuff and still make it look cool. It's just make it still with white or light background.
And be minimal with your background. I mean, sometimes, PowerPoint's got all sorts of templates and stuff where you can have, waves across the background and,
How's that go? I saw that.
And like a swoosh maybe would be okay, but just be, less is more with the backgrounds, because the point of the slide is to be able to read it and to follow it. If there's too much going on in the background, you lose that. The readers, I mean, not the reader, but the audience is looking at your background and they're swimming around in it and they don't know what to look at. So just less is more with the background.
Remember, this is a technical presentation, right? So boring is better.
Yes.
We don't like flash. We don't like all that stuff in science and engineering. We just want you to get to the facts and get over. Get it done.
Yes.
Okay? We're all about efficiency. So don't waste our time with flash. Just get us what we need to know, get the information, and that's it.
Speaking of boring, let's proceed.
So, uploads, right? You are going to upload everything, the PSD, all the presentations, the payload concept proposal, poster, everything is going to go through the InSPIRESS website, okay? And so I want you to make sure you understand there is a URL to this website. In this presentation, in the book, you can even go to the InSPIRESS website and click uploads.
Yeah, it's just uploads.
All of these ways, okay? So when you fill out the information, and Matt's going to tell me when I'm wrong about this, fill out the information, right? You go to the bottom, and there's going to be a place that says password, because you're going to sit there and go, I don't see a submit button. What's wrong? What's happening? Oh no, oh no. It's because you hadn't put in the submit, typed in the password, stupid, right? So type in the password. It is UP, up, 2, the number 2,
Arabic number 2.
InSPIRESS. And ta-da, the button will appear.
As if by magic.
I know, it really is, it's magic.
Yes.
So, do that, then hit submit, okay? And then something's going to happen. And that's going
Yes, okay, speaking of uploads and downloads, we're going to say upload something, download something. If we ever say you're going to upload something, go to the inspires.org and click at the top of the page. It's going to say uploads, okay?
That's your hint.
That's your hint, okay? Uploads. And if we ever say go download this on the website, it's on the downloads page. So go click downloads.
See, we're not creative.
No, we want everything. And then most everything else, if we say, you know, if you say go look for this video or go look for this link, there's a tab that says resources, okay? So your main stuff is going to be uploads, downloads, and resources. There'll be a few things. There's archives if you want to look at old papers, and there's projects if you want to read the old, you know, there's like, it's like a blog set up on your projects and events and stuff if you want to read what's happened in previous semesters. But your main stuff is going to be uploads, downloads, and resources. So it's a very simple website. There's not that many pages on it. You could probably get to the whole site in less than half an hour. So, you know, don't claim that you don't understand it, okay? Because it's not complicated. It's much easier to navigate than Facebook or something. So, uploading. Uploading is very important, like PJ just said. We're going to start off by uploading the payload status document. Probably the first thing you're going to upload, just as a practice, basically. When you upload, there's a form you fill out inside that page. You put in your name, you put in your email, and then it tells you to select a file. You click on the select a file, and it opens up a window, and you navigate to that file just like you normally would. You guys have done this 1,000 times, I'm sure. You select the file, you hit OK, and then once you hit OK, there'll be a blue spinny thing that occurs. And that is basically your file is being uploaded at that point in time, okay? But it's not sent to us until you hit the submit button, okay? It uploads. So if it's a large file, if it's a PowerPoint can get pretty big. If it's a large file, wait for the spinning thing to stop spinning, okay? Because I know this is technical jargon. I apologize for technical jargon. But the spinning thing needs to stop spinning before you click submit. Otherwise, you know, the internet will explode, okay? So spinning thing, stop spinning, then put in the password, up to InSPIRESS, hit submit, and everybody is happy. Now, when you hit submit, the email address that you put in the email box in that field on that form should get a confirmation email within a few minutes, okay? Your teacher should get a confirmation email within a few minutes. And PJ and I get an email within a few minutes. If you don't get the confirmation, the confirmation email will come from an address called JotForm, okay? So check your spam folder. If you didn't get the confirmation email, check your spam folder, check your blocked stuff like that, whatever. But you should get a confirmation email. Your teacher should too. If something happens, if you can't upload, it doesn't work, blah 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 blah. It doesn't work. It's, you know, we got 3 minutes left until we're going to be disqualified. Email it to us, okay? If all else fails, just email it to me and PJ, matt.turner@uah.edu, pj.binfield@uah.edu. Our email addresses are on the website, on the contacts page.
In the book.
Yeah, it's also in the book. I mean, we don't hide our email addresses. Email it to us. If all else fails, just email us the file, okay? And or if it's too big to email, send us a link in like Dropbox or something. Do something to get us the file.
At least email us and tell us that there's something wrong.
Yes.
Even if we can't get it, it's too big to email, something's up. Email us, because Matt, I know, checks his email 50 billion times a day.
I check it once every 4 minutes. I will check it 4 or 5 times during this presentation.
Right. And I have my email too. So email us and tell us that there's a problem. If we do not hear from you, we will just assume that you decide not to do it. And so we'll disqualify you. If you tell us there is an issue, we will help you out.
The reason we're like staying on this slide forever and we're harping on this is because this has happened so many times, okay? Someone didn't submit something and they said, well, I had trouble with the submission. 9 times out of 10, they're lying to us. I'm going to be honest with you, okay? 9 times out of 10, they're just lying to us. They didn't try to submit. They didn't have their paper done, whatever. I don't know. And they just didn't do it. And they're thinking, what can I say where I'll get out of this? The website didn't work, you know, and I was getting uploads all night, and I go check the stats on the website. Nope, was never down. So we do know how to do this, okay? So don't, we just look like we're dumb. We're not really that dumb. So anyway, but just, if you're having trouble, send us a message, send us a text, send us an email, send us something that says, look, I'm trying to upload, it's not working. Send your teacher something, your teacher can call us. You know, call the president, I don't know. Just make it known that you're trying to do this and that you're having difficulty. Don't just sit there in silence. We'll help you out if we get the message in time, and if we'll work with you afterward too, as long as we knew that you were trying and there were technical difficulties that were not your fault, okay? So please, just, okay, I think the sermon's over now.
Beat that horse to death?
I know. Boom, dead horse. Okay.
So, point of the story is, point of this whole long thing, always tell us if there's an issue, okay? That's our big thing out of this. We do the same thing with our college kids.
Yeah.
They do exactly the same thing.
Yeah, they do.
Life happens, you know, we get it. And something can happen. Always something will happen when something goes wrong. So just tell us these things and we can help you through them, okay? Don't make us be evil. I hate disqualifying people. But we will, because we've done it a lot. So don't do it, okay? All right, now, on to some more Lunnebeat stuff.
Yeah.
The first review you have with UAH.
Do we have anyone still watching the video?
I know, forget this, I'm done. No, your teachers are still making you do this, so we got you. It's like a captive audience. So, the first review you have with UAH is called the Payload Status Review. It's about halfway through the semester, and that's what it is. It's a status. Where's your payload at? You know, what's the design looking like? Design looking like? What's the CEA looking like? Those kinds of things. That's kind of what we want. We want to know kind of the status of everything. So the first thing we want is a payload status document. This is your practice to get ready for the real thing, the payload concept proposal, right? The payload status document can be no more than 5 pages in length, including a title page, right? So that means you get a title page and 4 other pages. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 4.
Fear,
dos, tres, cuatro, right?
Yes, fear for the Germans in the audience.
So, title page. The title page needs to have your team name, your team slogan, your team logo, and your high school name on it, okay? All of this will actually be on the template. It'll say title page, right? Put it on it. Then, this document is submitted 1 week before your PSR, okay? So, if your PSR is Wednesday, I don't know, February 21st, I have no clue if that's a real day or not, or that's Wednesday, February 21st. Then you would submit by Wednesday, February 14th. See? It's a -7. That's what we do here, okay? And you're going to do it through the website, through the process that Matt just talked about. So we can practice this, right? Okay. And then once you submit it, what's going to happen on our side is our college kids are going to review them. They're going to give you comments on them, and then we will send those back. So that helps you out. This is actually a part of their grade this semester. So they're going to do it. And so then you'll get that back and they'll be able to tell you, I did not understand this at all, or, oh, that's a pretty good place. You know, they'll be able to really give you some feedback, some constructive criticism, which is what you want at this phase.
This is
you
a
don't
good
want
thing.
it at the end.
Yes. It's too
It
late.
is bad.
It's too late.
In middle, good,
Yes.
right? So that's what we want.
This will help you. More comments, the earlier the better.
Yep. So content, we want name, slogan, logo, right, in the paper. We want the science objective that you've chosen, which you'll watch that boring video with Matt. Instrumentation that you've chosen, you know, you're going to use an accelerometer, you're going to use mass spec, you're going to use whatever, right? And that'll be with the science traceability matrix. That'll help you explain that. Then you're going to talk about your functional, your environmental, and your project requirements, what those are, what those mean. Your alternative concepts, we're going to talk about that with you some, about how you can have different solutions to the same problem, because your problem is basically the science objective. So can you do it different ways? And the positives and negatives of it, we call it the pros and the cons, right? And then kind of what's the concept of operations? When UAH says go at Venus, what do you do, right? So all that's going to be in this nice little document, right? No more than 5 pages. So you can't be like, once upon a time. You got to get to the point quickly, right? 5 pages. Actually, it's 4 plus the title page. So that's all you get to work with in this first document. Remember that, okay?
And it's a status. These are your ideas right now. It doesn't
Yeah,
have to
it's
be
still
complete.
not like concrete. You know, we're not going to say, well, you said that's 4, right? And now it's like 12. Well, no, it was 4. No, that's all right. You can change. It's all right, okay? So then you also have during this review, after you submit this document and UAH gets to look at it, you're going to have a presentation, right? It's going to either be via Skype or Access, Polycom system at your school. You don't leave, and then you get to see the UAH kiddies over here going, hi, how you doing,
We'll
right?
have professors and
College kids, but a lot of college kids, right? So they're going to be able to review you. You get no more than 10 minutes to talk to them. So you got to be brief, get through it, right? It's a template.
Not like us, but you need to be quick.
Yeah, a template. We got to get through the template. There's also a template for this. Then there's about 10 minutes for questions and answers from the board. So the college kids and the professors can ask you questions about what did you mean about this? How did that work? Tell us more about this, blah, 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 right? So you can work with that. And so they'll get to give you some constructive feedback at that point as well. Again, you want it now, not at the end. Bad idea. Get it now. So the content is exactly the same as what was in the payload status document. This is not rocket science, right? So team name, slogan, logo, science objective, instrumentation, functional, environmental, alternative concepts, and payload concept of operations. I think we should have put in here about the CEA. I don't know where that is. There's also a status about your CEA, but that's okay.
But this, you can have updated information because this is a week later. So if you've updated some information from the payload status document to the payload status review, that's fine.
Yep.
But it's just a week, and it's going to take you a little bit of time to work on this presentation anyway. So not much information will change, but it's okay if you do change some.
We also recommend you practice this presentation
Yeah,
before you get to the board.
Unlike
right?
us again.
Yeah. So practice the presentation. Know what you're going to say. Know who's going to talk when, right? Those are all important points to be ready for because you want to look professional because the college kids will remember you, right? In the end, at the end of the semester, they get to evaluate your payload concept proposal. They will remember if you did poorly in any of these reviews, right? So you've got to remember that. So always be polished, be ready to go, and make it a perfect presentation. Try to take up to the 10 minutes. Don't go over, but try to take like 9 minutes, 55 seconds. You cut close, those kinds of things. That's what you want because you need this much time to get through all this information.
When he says perfect, it doesn't mean exactly correct. Everything doesn't have to be correct. You're going to have questions, you're going to have holes still. What he means is show up and look like you know what you're, just be prepared, basically.
Unlike him.
Yes, unlike me. And so...
like he's in a jacket.
It's cold in here. And so just be ready for the presentation and they'll have a good impression of you, a good opinion of you. That's what you want.
Yep. Okay. So then we get to the end of the semester. You have created the design, you figured it out, you've done some analysis work with the geek here, right? The physics. All that stuff has happened. So now we're up to the payload concept review. We call it the PCR. It's your second review with UAH. So first thing up, just like last time, we have the payload concept proposal. Okay, this is actually the document you're going to submit to UAH to be evaluated. It can be no more than 9 pages, including the title page. So title page plus 8, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 pages is what you get. No more. If you add more, and sometimes you cheat and try to add more, not going to happen. So all that's got to happen. On the title page is your team name, number, slogan, logo, high school name, right? Just about like last time.
You put a website if you want.
The number, we need your number because you each change your name. You've got a name now, Flash, whatever. And we need to know that that is, what's the thing? Muscle Shoals 2 this semester, right? So we need to make sure we understand that because that's how we talk to our college kids about you. Is your high school and your team number, is your team name for us. You can create a new team name, which is what we want.
Team Awesome.
Yeah, whatever. So that kind of thing. The content. So if you look, most of what we talked about in the payload status document is in the payload concept proposal, right? We get to a point. All we add is decision analysis, engineering analysis, the final design, the compliance table, and the CEA summary.
You may update ConOps.
Yeah, you can update the ConOps, and then you add this other stuff. So you take what you did in the payload status document and just transfer it to the payload concept proposal template.
You can update every. I mean, you can change your team name if you want to. We
we don't care. I mean, if you come up with a new
you
team
don't have
name,
to, is what we're saying.
right? I mean, if you change it from fart to smell, I don't care. You know, whatever.
Oh, they're going to get censored.
Yeah. So you can do whatever you want to with this, right? So, but you can see, you know, a lot of people go, "Oh, it's another document. Oh my Lord!" No, but you got almost half of it done already.
Yeah, and there's a template.
Yeah. So download the template and use it.
Guess where you download it? Yeah, the downloads page. Okay.
So we added all that into it. The presentation, right? The payload concept proposal. There is a new caveat, right? There is a design group and there is a CEA group as a part of this. Every member of the design group must present during this review, okay? This is to get you ready. This is a practice run for the final review, where again, all of the design group must present. The PM and the chief engineer get to choose, as well as some of the CEA group. You can decide after that, but every member of that design group has to present during this. This one now, because there's so much more, we basically added about double the amount of information. You get 20 minutes to talk this time, right? So up to 20 minutes. The board then gets 10 minutes to ask you questions. Again, the board is college teachers, college professors, and college students in our senior design class. So they will get to see you. Contents again, payload concept review presentation is exactly like the payload concept proposal, right? So whatever you wrote in the proposal, just put it in the document and put it in the presentation, just in bullets, right? We do not want sentences.
No.
No sentences in this presentation, right? Because then you will have the habit of going, hello, my name is blah, 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 I am from blah, 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 blah. And you'll never look at the board. That ticks them off.
Yeah.
Plus, if you read to them, they can read. They're not idiots.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, okay.
Yeah.
Most of our presentations, for the most part, are done kind of in a manner that we would like you to do yours. You know, bullets, no sentences. Also, no sentences is nice because there's no punctuation anymore. You don't have to worry about it. So, just bullets, main points, and then you talk. You fill in the blanks. It's meant to be a guide for the speaker, not not a script.
Right.
So, yeah.
Because believe me, this is not rehearsed.
Shocker there. But yeah, we need to keep going on slide 7. So.
Okay, so the payload concept proposal. Once we get through the PCR, you get to update, right? Because you're going to find that the PCR will tell you things you need to change and update, right? So you come back and you update those. But then you must submit the payload concept proposal. Both conferences. Conference 1, engineering. Conference 2, physics, right? Both of you submit the payload concept proposal on Tuesday, April 22nd, 2014. Okay? By midnight of that night.
Before the 23rd.
Basically, before the 23rd, it must be submitted to us. If your teacher, if he or she gives you a date different than that, earlier,
not
upstream,
later,
not later. Sorry, didn't do that, teachers.
Sorry, teachers.
Earlier, upstream, that's the date you worry about,
yes.
right? Because they're the ones who are giving you the grade, not us.
InSPIRESS,
your us is winning.
InSPIRESS is cool and all, but you got to get a grade, okay? You got to pass. And teacher's the boss.
Right. So I know several teachers decide to have it up front because they want to see it and submit it. That's cool. As long as everything is before April 23rd, basically, that's what happens. If it is not submitted by that date, your team is automatically disqualified from the rest of the competition. Okay? I cannot stress this enough. We had it happen again this past semester. Fall 2013. One team got disqualified from the whole thing because they didn't submit this document. So now we've done 5 teams total since we started this program have been disqualified.
And again, if there's issues with the website, if you can't upload, if something's not loading right, email it to us. Email it to somebody. Email it to your teacher. Email it to, email's got to work. You can drive it over to our house. I don't know. That won't work. But
I don't want that. Sorry.
Yeah. Show us that you're trying to get this thing in on time. Okay. And the teams that have been disqualified were the teams that just dropped off the planet, and we never really, they never really even acted like they wanted to submit anything at all.
Right.
So
don't do that.
Yeah, we don't want that.
Yep. Okay. The next thing you've got to do, right? You've got the payload concept proposal that got submitted. Whew, good, right? Now we come up to the day of when you come to UAH, because actually at UAH, on the day you come, there are 2 reviews happening simultaneously. Okay? There is the CEAR, the Community Engagement Activity Review, and the final review happening at the same time.
Same time.
Right? So that's why there's two groups, and those two groups have different things to do, and the PM and the CE can pick and choose what they want to do.
They may be having the same. They might not have it at the same time. They may have.
Well, I mean, but they're happening, yes, they are at the same time. Right. Okay. So, the Community Engagement Activity Review, it will be in the lobby. We're actually in the Shelby Center right now.
Where it's cold.
Yes, it's very cold because you guys turned down the heat during the holidays. So, in the lobby out here, you're going to have your table and your poster and all that stuff for the Community Engagement Review, right? It is only for the CEAs, and you could have, actually I should put an S on there. You could have multiple CEAs, but that's it. It's not about the whole project, okay? You're going to talk about the CEAs and what you did in the CEAs, how that relates to your project, but it's not about your project, okay? Not about the payload, that kind of thing. It's in the Shelby Center for Science and Technology. It's our brand new building on campus. Well, by the time you come, it won't be, because there'll be another brand new building behind it. But anyway, it's close enough. Things that we provide you, that UAH provides for you to use. We will give you an easel for your poster to set on, right? And we'll talk about the poster in a minute. But that's going to be it. We're going to give you a 6-foot table that you can display items on, right? It's a standard 6-foot table.
No tablecloth.
No tablecloth. They can bring a tablecloth, I guess.
You can bring one, yeah.
You can bring a tablecloth like with your high school or team or whatever on it.
Yeah,
I don't care.
I don't care.
But no glitter. No glitter on the tablecloth.
Yeah. Oh.
We really hate glitter.
No glitter.
Yeah. And we'll give you Wi-Fi, Wi-Fi, right?
Glitter is grounds for automatic disqualification and removal from the building. Okay?
Yes. We hate glitter.
Yes.
Okay?
Even the movie with what's her face in it, we hate that movie too, called Glitter.
Glitter? Oh.
Yeah. But we also hate the substance glitter.
Yeah. And we'll give you Wi-Fi, right? Wi-Fi. So, you got that, right? Conference. Whatever.
Yeah. Now, on this table, you can bring stuff that you used in your CEA. Like if you, and that's the next slide. And I'm just giving you a preview of the next slide.
So, all members of the CEA group must present, right? And this presenting is not a formal, hello, my name is blah, 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 you know, and you're standing in front. The judges are going to be walking around and they're going to come up to you with a clipboard, and the way you're going to know you have a judge is they will have a badge that says judge.
It has a picture of a gavel on it.
Yeah, so that's your clue that that's a judge. You need to schmooze them, right?
And they'll say, hey, tell me about your project.
Yes, and so you go, well, my project, my CEA, we did blah, 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 blah.
That's fascinating.
Yes, see, and you keep on talking like that, right? That's what we mean by that. So the CEA group must man the booth, must man the table, and keep the audience engaged, the judges engaged, okay? That's their requirement.
It's a conversational thing. It's not a rehearse. You may have like a quick, like a 1-sentence intro to help you get started with them.
Yep.
Well, our project was such and such, and our CEAs were such and such and such and such and such and such.
Yep.
And just to get you going, so to get the conversation going, you can have something like that rehearsed, but you don't want to have an entire 10-minute thing rehearsed because it won't work, because it's a conversation. You don't know what they're going to ask you.
Yeah, and the judges are free to ask you all kinds of questions, and they love this. They love to come talk to you guys.
We're doing this again. This is the first time we're doing it. We kind of brought it back from something previous that we've done before, but the judges love it because the judges wanted this back.
Yeah, they like to talk to you. So that's that, okay? So there was these two things we talked about, a poster and a table. What is that, right? So the poster, there will be a template on the website on the downloads page?
Yes.
Downloads page.
You download it, it's on the downloads page.
Yeah, a template, that's right. Template and PowerPoint, you can use whatever. We
And
just got a
publisher, we're going to put publisher up there too.
Oh, okay. And so it's a template, but you can do 32 by 40 inches. That's what our printer does here at UAH, because you're going to submit this to us and we will print it for you and put it on foam core and have it ready on that easel on the day you come up. So it's 32 by 40 inches. We don't care, portrait or landscape, you pick.
Don't care.
Okay?
Or diagonal, I don't really care.
What?
I don't know. Their freedom, you know.
How's that going to stay on the easel?
I don't know. Blocks, I have no idea.
Don't listen to him. Portrait or landscape. Don't do the whole diagonal thing. One of you's going to try it now just to figure it out. Then you're going to come to him because he's going to have to figure out how to make this work.
That'd be a weird poster.
So it's printed by us here at UAH. When we say UAH, that means the two of us, right? The two of us, if you submit it on time, we will print it and handle it for you.
And by submit, he means upload.
Yeah. So if you don't do that, you got to do it on your own time, right? And your own dime.
Yep.
We'll handle it if you give it to us early on the time we ask for it. And that's in the CR. Every date is in the CR that you need. It's actually on the front of the CR. It tells you every submittal date you need. So the contents, the required stuff you must put on this poster.
This
If
is-
you want to put more, that's great. Right?
Some of you may have seen posters from previous open houses that we've had here in InSPIRESS.
It's not like
This
that.
is not like those posters at all. Those posters were what we called movie posters. Those were attractor posters. Those were marketing type posters. This is an informational. This is a
science and engineering
science
poster.
and engineering poster.
Yep.
More on the boring bent than the. I mean, you still want it to be interesting.
Yeah.
But it's not going to be movie poster. You know, it's not like that at all.
What is that?
I don't know. I can't do that again. Hurt myself. But so you, it's not a movie poster. It is an informational poster.
Right. Okay. So it's got the team name, team logo, high school name, logo. You know, y'all all got a logo at your high school. The payload science objective that you've developed, a figure of your proposed payload, because you need to show them what it looks like, right? Then the number of CEA visitors and a histogram of the age demographic of those visitors.
We'll talk about that as
And
later.
we'll talk about a histogram and what that is, because it's a really cool thing to show. The CEA's description and the CEA's pictures. We want pictures. You want to show pretty, cute kids doing stuff. Pretty kids.
Lots of pictures.
Cute kids doing stuff. All that on there.
Picture-
This is the minimum you can have on this poster. You can add more if you want to, but this is the minimum you can put on this 32 by 40 inch poster.
Pictures, I think I said this in the other video. Pictures, camera phones are great. I love them. I got one on my hip right now. But if you can get a real camera, that would be nice because they take better pictures.
Yep. So that's the poster. The table, right? 6-foot table. Everything you bring must fit on that table. You can have nothing off that table that you're using.
Everything you bring for display, not all your
Right.
team members.
No, don't have all your team members sitting on the table. That's going to be boring. That's going to be stupid.
That would hurt.
Yeah. So everything you use for the display must be on that table. There can only be the easel with the poster and that. That's it.
There's a 200-pound weight limit for the tables, by the way.
Really?
I don't know, I'm just making it up.
Oh, okay. So don't do everything 200 pounds. No marketing materials are allowed. Okay, we used to have what's called open house, which Matt was kind of alluding to before. And that got out of hand. We had all this crap. And it's called swag, stuff we all get is what we call it in our industry. But pens and cups and food and crap like
Cotton
that.
candy. And
Yeah, we don't need all that.
buttons and...
Just bring in, you can bring in like your experiment that you did with the and your CEA, or you can bring in all kinds of things like that. Anything you want to put on that table. You can even have a flyer or a handout about your CEAs that you give to the judges. That kind of thing is okay, but we don't want all that marketing crap anymore. That's too much.
The judges want to see, I mean, if you're explaining your CEA, if you're saying, yeah, we did this experiment, with dry ice or something, if you have some dry ice pellets still left over, bring it and show the judges. That's money in the bank right there.
Yeah.
When you're looking at the CEA review. So show them, if you can show them, yeah, we did this with the kids and they reacted this way, they loved it, blah, blah, blah. That's awesome. Otherwise, if your CEA required power, or like a leaf blower or something large that you can't bring here, don't bring a leaf blower, even though it might fit on your table, it's loud. And there's gas and stuff. So you can do a video, make a video like this, a better video hopefully, and then have it playing on a laptop on your table.
But
Something
one
like
thing
that.
you must remember, we do not provide power for that laptop.
Sorry.
So charge the battery and run it until it's finished.
Yeah.
And have a spare battery or something, something like that. We are not providing any power because we don't have enough outlets and we'll blow up the building if we don't watch out.
Yeah, we had trouble with power last at the open houses and stuff. It got out of hand.
Yeah, so that's
no
it.
cotton candy machines. No, if there's something you want to bring out of the ordinary, please run it by us. If there's like a large fish tank or something, I'm just gonna go ahead and say no to that. I mean, it's cool. If your experiment involves like 50 gallons of water, let's shy away from that. Just video it and bring the video, because we want to avoid the potential for large messes too. And no glitter, by the way. I don't care if your experiment involved glitter or not. If it did, then shame on you. But mainly you're going to talk to the judges and explain what you did. You can always video your CEAs and show them the videos and show them the cute kids and stuff. You can't bring a cute kid either and put them on your table. That doesn't work either, even though they're less than 200 pounds. But work with this. It'll be fine. But we're trying to keep this minimal, this whole event.
Yep. Okay. So here are different pictures from this past semester. This is actually the fall semester, some of the CEAs. So you can see some kids go talk in the classroom to elementary kids about Venus and their project. Some did some cool experiments outside with them because Venus has carbon dioxide, and so a lot of people use dry ice and have cool things happening with that.
And this was
That's
one of
kinda
those.
neat.
This was one of those volcano experiments.
Yeah.
With baking soda, I think, and something. I don't know really what it was, but got cool reactions from the kids, and they videoed it. So that'd have been a cool video to show.
Yeah, and then some people do parents' night. I know several of the teachers like to do parents' night, where they invite the community to come in and you guys present to them. All of that is legit. Anything like that in the community environment is perfect for us. Working with the kids and even in your high school, middle school, elementary, around the community, having a community community night, parents' night. All of that is totally open for you to plan and do, like we talked about in the first presentation. So all of that is up for grabs for you. And what you're going to do with this review is talk about these things that happened. And you're going to tell the judges what happened, what was the reaction of the community, what was the reaction of the visitors, we had this many visitors, that kind of thing, right? All of that is what this review is about.
But be on your toes. If you show a picture like this, which is a cool picture, don't get me wrong, and a judge is going to say, well, what is going on with this reaction? You need to be able to explain what's going on with this reaction.
Everybody does.
It is
the CEA group.
Nitrogen tetroxide and some blah, blah, blah. It isn't that. That's rocket fuel. But that's the only thing I can think of off the top of my head. So you need to explain what the reaction is and how this reaction relates back to your experiment, what you're trying to show the kids with this, with this reaction. What's the whole point of showing the kids this reaction besides getting their cool faces, So be able to explain that. That's the main thing in the CEA, being able to explain the tie between your project and the experiment that you did, and also being able to explain the details of the experiment.
Okay. So the visitor surveys. So one thing you must do as a part of any of your CEAs is you get visitor surveys. So a visitor, what is a visitor? A visitor is anyone who is not currently participating in InSPIRESS this semester. Okay. Everybody else is fair game. But anybody who's participating this semester with us is not considered a visitor, okay? Everybody else is. So when you do your CEA, you will conduct your CEA with people, with the visitors, right? After the CEA is complete, you distribute the visitor survey, and it's on the downloads page of InSPIRESS website. You'll print them off and you'll hand them out, right? They have to mark, circle all the things. Yes, this is cool, blah, 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 I'm this, I'm that. All those kinds of things. You collect them back. If you do not collect the survey from the visitor did not exist in our eyes, okay? I cannot stress this enough. If Matt comes into Matt couldn't do it anyway, but if Matt was not a part of InSPIRESS and he came to my CEA and he walked out without doing the survey, he wasn't even there.
Nope.
Okay? So you got to make sure and get all the surveys from everybody that comes and participates, right?
If you hand out a survey and they don't turn it back into you, doesn't matter.
Yep. Go get them. Bug them.
Track
Get
them down.
Yep. This is your job. So you're going to get a spreadsheet that will also be on the downloads page where you're going to enter the data from each CEA from the visitor survey, okay? I want this data. We need this data. NASA thinks this is so cool and the community does. So we need this data about the visitors that you talked to and what their reaction was to this project, okay? So the spreadsheet that we will give you must be submitted to UAH by the specific date in your book, in your competition rules, or the team is disqualified from competing in the CEAR, right? You might have submitted your PCP. Great.
Awesome.
You keep going. If you don't submit this spreadsheet, you don't do the CEAR. You don't stand there at the booth at your label and talk to the judges. Not going to happen.
And
okay?
the teacher is very unhappy.
Yes, because you've worked a lot
You did
by
a lot
now.
of work. Yeah.
You've done the CEAs. You've done all this prep work and you've conducted it. You've got the data. Just crunch it, put it in the spreadsheet, and be done. If you have any questions, talk to me because I'm going to be the one that creates this spreadsheet. So I'll be the one that will be looking to get this data back from you. But that will make you disqualified from the CEAR.
And it's depending on which conference you're in is the due date. It's in your schedule. It's
Yep.
in the notebook.
Yep. So we get to the final review. Remember, CEAR is happening in the lobby. The final review is in some rooms, like the one we're actually standing in right now
This
talking
will
to
be
you.
one of the rooms.
So the final review is in the Shelby Center as well. It's going on simultaneously with the CEAR. You get 20 minutes to present, just like the PCR. Shocker, right? The PCR was basically a dress rehearsal for the main event, which was the final review. You get 20 minutes to present, up to 20 minutes. At the end of 20 minutes, the board will go, and stop you. We had one this past semester who went over the time. They stopped them mid-sentence. And they will do that. That's their job. They didn't get 10 minutes to ask you questions. Unlike the review, the PCR and the PSR, probably the college kids were being nice and going, oh, we're good, we're done with you. These 10 minutes will be taken up. We've had board members request more time to be with you.
Every semester they want.
Yeah, they want more time. So they're going to take their 10 minutes and ask you really cool questions. It's a modified PCR briefing, right? You take the PCR, because there's nothing being added at that point. Massage it, fix some things, fill in some more of the holes, that kind of thing. And that's what you use, okay? Change it from payload concept review to final review on the title slide, though. Mm-hmm. That's a big deal, right? Then you submit this presentation by a specified time, which is also in your book, okay? Failure to submit it is grounds for dismissal from the FR, from the final review. Don't make us do that.
That'll be rough.
Right? We need this presentation. We're not trying to be butts about this.
Hey, PG-13, watch the language.
What we're trying to do is we've got to get everything ready, There's a billion of you this semester, so we got to get these things loaded on the laptops and on the computers ready to go for the final review. Mm-hmm. So you got to give us some time to do that.
Yeah.
And you can't change things, let's be honest. The day before the presentation, you shouldn't be changing things. You should be practicing and getting ready for this final review. So all of that has to happen. So again, it is grounds for dismissal if you do not submit that on time. And again, that is in your book, just like everything other thing else, the date is. So, just to recap, this is the evaluation criteria, right? We talked about it in the first lecture, the intro lecture, but also here. So there's the CEAR, the community engagement activity, which is worth 25 points. But you need to remember, of those 25 points, 10 points are allocated for the CEAR visitor surveys, the CEA visitor surveys, right? For every 25 surveys that are completed and you have the data for, you receive 1 point for a maximum of 10 points. So if you want the total of 10 points, of those 25 points, you need to get 250 people engaged in your community.
And you need 250 surveys back.
You got it. You've got to get those surveys, right? And so those are the dates, May 6th or May 15th, depending on if you're in Conference 1 or Conference 2. The payload concept proposal is 25 points. It's evaluated by UAH students. It's evaluated, you actually submit it, remember, before April 23rd, basically. So April 22nd is the date we want it. And then between the next week, they evaluate it. Then the final presentation is worth 50 points. So it's 1/2 of your presentation. And it depends on if you're in Conference 1 or Conference 2 as to when that is. But you can see it coincides with the CEAR. Okay? So, all of this. So, the next step, the next pages in the competition rules book are these criteria, right? The CEAR criteria, the payload concept proposal criteria, and the final review criteria. This is exactly what the judges will use to score you, to evaluate you. Okay? There is no question mark in your now of how you're going to win. You look at these three things, the criteria and the questions they are going to look for and stuff like that, you're going to hopefully find answers to in your presentations and your paper, are right there in the book. Okay? That's the way this goes.
Okay, it's in the back of the competition.
Yeah, this isn't going to be like, well, what are they going to do? You know right now what it's going to look like. Okay.
The stuff they will judge you on, the questions they will ask when they're scoring you are in the competition rules.
Yes.
We're not trying to be secretive. This is not a secret thing. This is just very upfront, this is what it is.
Yep. So remember that, okay? So look back there, PMs, chief engineers, look in that back and start checking off going, have we done that? Yes. Have we done that? Yes. Have we done that? Yes. And just do it, okay? This is very simple. This is not rocket science.
It's not rocket science at all.
Right? Mm-hmm. So that's kind of the point to this, is we wanted to make sure you understood everything you're going to do. And so it's all in the book, and here's a presentation to help you out with that. Okay? Anything else?
I'm good.
Okay. So hopefully this helps you. I know you're probably bored to death by now, but that's all right. Get used to it. It's what's going to happen this whole semester with us. So hopefully this will help you out. If you have any questions, please ask us when we're with you.
Yeah.
Or email us, right? You've got our email addresses. You'll know them. You'll know us pretty well by the end of the semester. So ask us, and we'll be more than happy to help you out.
It's not difficult to communicate with us. Send us an email. And if we don't respond within like a few days, send us another email. I mean, it's nothing. I mean, we love each and every one of you equally, and we get like 100 emails a day, and I got like 3 while we were doing this presentation. So just send us another email. Get your teacher to send us an email if it's a pressing question. Make sure that you get your questions answered. It's up to you to make sure you get your questions answered.
Right.
And it's not that we don't like you, it's just that we,
are busy.
Yeah, sometimes sometimes an email slips past the goalkeeper. And so we,
Yep.
no offense.
Okay. So hopefully this helps you out. We'll be seeing you soon. Bye.
Bye.